I'm Shari with Organizational Learning and Talent Development, and research shows that delivering feedback is a top challenge for supervisors. Most folks struggle with delivering feedback, either not doing it or not doing it effectively. So the thing is, feedback really is a gift. Studies show that we would rather even hear negative feedback from our supervisor than not hear from them at all. So let's look at some do's and don'ts for delivering feedback. We'll start with do's. So you do want to remember that you are doing this to be supportive. You're giving them feedback so that they can succeed. That'll help you go into it with a kind of helpful mindset. It'll change the whole tone of your feedback. Remember that it's multi-directional. It's not just you coming down from above while they obediently listen. There's another person sitting on the other side, which is why I'm sitting at a picnic table to remind us there's another person involved. So sometimes people ask me, well, can't I just email them or, text them? It would be so much easier. And yeah, it would be easier for us. It just wouldn't be effective. So the answer is no. You need to give your feedback face-to-face, either virtually via video or in person. All right, make sure it's future-oriented. So after you deliver the feedback, you say, so what can you do differently moving forward? You focus on the future. Make sure it's accurate. You're not passing along vague hearsay. You've figured out for sure what happened. Make sure you give feedback on an ongoing basis, so you don't just wait and then dump all of the things you're upset about on them, or you don't wait until appraisal times. You give it on an ongoing basis, and make sure it's timely, as soon after the thing that happened as possible. Now, sometimes you can't do it right after it. Maybe they're really upset about whatever happens, which means they won't be able to hear you. Or maybe you're all working on some crisis or tight deadline, so that's not the time, and that's okay. You want to give it as soon thereafter as possible. All right, so what about some don'ts? Don't use absolutes. So don't say, you never come to work on time. You're always late. Never, always. Those are absolutes. Because they're going to be able to tell you that one time that they did come to work on time. Don't be long-winded. Sometimes we just go on and on and on, and that just makes them shut down. Don't use sarcasm like, well, I'm glad you could join us this afternoon. That's actually hiding. You want to be brave enough that you can have a direct, open, honest conversation with them. All right, so don't be overly threatening, like you do want to stick around here, don't you? If what they did does not actually put their job in jeopardy. And finally, don't use the sandwich method. So the sandwich method is still sometimes taught. It's that thing where you start with a compliment, you slip in your real message, you end with a compliment. We like it as supervisors because we get to feel better. We're like, oh, it's okay, I'm going to tell them this other thing to fluff them up at the end. It's not effective. Two things can happen. Either they ignore the part in the middle that you were hoping they would hear and they think, I got 2 compliments, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Or they're gonna think next time they hear some praise from you that something negative is happening. They're waiting for that other shoe to drop. All right, so then what do you do? My favorite method is the SBI. It comes from the Center for Creative Leadership. It is simple, it's direct, it's to the point, and it's respectful. So you start with the situation. The situation is like setting the scene. It's putting them on the same page as you are. So you say, this morning at team meeting, or yesterday when we were setting up for the event. That's all. It just puts their brains where your brain is so they don't have to try to catch up. Then you get to the behavior. The behavior needs to be accurate and based on actions, like what a video camera could pick up. So you could say, you interrupted Sarah 5 times. A video camera could pick that up. Or you leaned against the wall chatting and checking your phone while the rest of us were setting up the tables. Again, a video camera would pick up. Versus if you said you were really rude. Sure, maybe it was rude that they were playing with their phone while the rest of you were working. But if you just say yesterday you were really rude, they don't know what to fix, so it's not effective. Then you get to the impact. The impact is the so what. Why do I care that they did that? What is the impact on me, on the team, on the product? on their career, their reputations, any impact that this behavior had. So let's put it all together. This morning at team meeting, you interrupted Sarah 5 times, which meant she stopped talking and we were never able to get that important data we needed so we could move forward. Or yesterday when we were setting up for that event, you leaned against the wall, playing with your phone and chatting, while the rest of us were scrambling to get everything set up, which means we were not ready when our clients arrived. That's it. It's a straightforward sentence, it's not long-winded, and it's factual and respectful. The next step is you go, so what was going on? And now it's that conversation that I mentioned, okay? The big key is if there's no impact, there's no feedback. So, for example, maybe you don't like the way someone does it. It's not the way you used to do it when you were in that job, and they've changed the process. But they're working very effectively, they're meeting all deadlines, maybe they're even early, it's not against any policy, you just don't like it. You know what? Then there's no feedback. So one other reason I really love this method, it helps us really know whether this is something worthy of feedback. The other thing I like is you can use it, and in fact I encourage you to use it for positive feedback, reinforcing feedback as well. So instead of saying, hey, great job this morning, which is nice, but no one knows why they did a great job, you can say, hey, this morning when you jumped in and volunteered to cover the front desk, even though you were juggling lots of projects, it was so helpful because it let Mark and I finish that project that we needed to do on that very tight deadline. Yay, now they know why what they did was impactful and they're even more likely to do it in the future. So the key is we're judging performance, not people, and remember, delivering feedback is helping people succeed.